lesson will be on Prudence. The name of the story is called Revenge of the Indian. Has someone ever said or done something that made you sad or angry? What was your reaction? Through this story from the American colonization period, we will discover which is the best approach in these cases. The months of drought and the scorching sun had parched the rivers dry. A tall and strong man worked near his farm in the fields located close to a huge forest. He and his wife were the only white people at that location. Suddenly, a tall and noble-looking Indian appeared from the forest. He felt faint. He got close to the white man and begged him, "I am very thirsty. Please give me water to drink." "Get out of here!" yelled the white man. Aside from yelling, he also humiliated the Indian. But the Indian, because of his terrible condition, once again insisted. "I can no longer walk. I beg you, please, give me a drink of water." "I already told you to get out of here. I do not like Indians," replied the white man. Slowly dragging himself, the Indian went away. The rage could be seen in his eyes. From the window, the white man's wife had observed the event, saw the Indian as he struggled to leave. He had not made it too far when he staggered and fell to the ground. Immediately, she took a container with water, a cup of milk, and some bread, and making sure that her husband could not see her, she went out to tend to the Indian who had fainted. Kindly, she gave him cool water to drink, and he regained consciousness. Then she offered him milk and bread, and begged him to forgive her husband's rude attitude. With renewed strength, the Indian got up. Before continuing, took one of his white feathers in his hair and handed it to the woman, saying, "My kind lady, take this feather. When your husband goes into the forest, he must use it to escape alive." And he disappeared between the trees. 3 years passed. Other white families had arrived to settle in that area. Near the end of winter, the men organized a hunting trip. Before leaving, the wife of the one who had mistreated the Indian asked him to place the white feather on his jacket. He made fun of his wife, but because of her insistence, he stuck the feather in his jacket and left. The hunters were in the forest until the sun went down. It was already dark, and the main character of our story stayed behind to tie his shoelace and lost sight of his fellow hunters. Afraid, he whistled and yelled, but there was no reply. Then he decided to spend the night in the forest and wait until daybreak. However, not much time had passed when he noticed that several figures were approaching. At that very moment, his hands were tied by a group of Indians who looked like savages, who made him walk until dawn. Upon arriving at a camp located in the forest near a lake, he saw many teepees, the typical Indian tent in the shape of a cone, which meant that it was an important settlement. At the end of the day, the white man was taken to an empty tent, guarded by 2 strong young men. At the tune of loud yelling and songs, a group of warriors drew near with their chief in the lead. A tall and handsome man, adorned with feathers and war paint, had been informed of the white man's capture and wanted to see the prisoner up close. As soon as he saw the white feather, he recognized it. It was the man who years ago had both denied him a glass of water and humiliated him. "Lucky you, white man! If it were not for that white feather, you would have died tonight. Thanks to your kind wife, I promise to forgive you if you fell into my domain. Why are white men not kind to their red-skinned brothers? I will personally return you to your home. However, you must first eat and rest." As soon as the chief left, the 2 young men brought him food and several furs to use as bed. Very early the next day, the Indian chief, true to his promise, went to look for the white man. They walked for many hours through the forest until, suddenly, the tree groves ended and the open field began. During that long trip, the white man learned to respect and admire the Indian, who, because of his wife's kindness, saved his life.
That's it for today, students. Hope you understood the story and learned its moral. God bless. Have a great day.